What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, and I'm doing a little bit of an update on Apple. So, for the past couple of months, I've been talking a lot about Apple on this channel. Usually, this channel is based more around long-term investing. Later on next week, I do plan to do a deep dive on Wish as well as a deep dive on Oatly. So, make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you can stay up to date with those. But a couple of weeks ago, I put out a video talking about Apple, talking about this longer term trade setup that we had going on here. If you've been a subscriber of the channel for a while, you know that I also talked about this, which was the same exact pattern, but this bullish wedge or bullish pendant, I'm sorry, that we had going on back at the end of the year, last year, back right in the beginning of December. So back in December, this is when we had this good bullish pendant. We broke out from here. We moved all the way up to major resistance, which was an 18% return in just a couple of weeks. Now, as of this moment, you can see that we had a bigger bullish pendant forming since essentially January all the way up until now. So 6 months, which just broke out. And I made that video a couple of weeks ago explaining how I thought this would be a good time to buy Apple, as it would probably run up into earnings. And it has done just that. So in this video, we're going to go over how I saw value in this, where do I think Apple's going to continue to go from here, and kind of a little earnings outlook. I don't want to do a full earnings outlook on Apple because I want to save that for a little closer to earnings, but we're going to go over all of that. Now, before we get started, guys, make sure to go and use the link down below and check out my podcast. I've actually had a lot of people ask me to start a podcast over the past couple of years since I started this channel, my second channel, and my private academy. And so finally, I just bucked up and I did it. I wanted to wait until I felt like it was the perfect time. The perfect time never comes, so the perfect time is now. So the first episode will come out either tomorrow or Friday, but I'm putting out the YouTube channel for the Pete DiCarlo podcast today, so this way you guys can get a hold of it as soon as it comes out. The first guest is going to be Chris Plaguescape. He's the head of crypto trading at Capitalist Academy. So we talk about a ton of things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Pi, as well as NFTs, wallets, the whole, I don't want to say kit and caboodle because that's corny, but literally everything. I actually learned a lot because trading crypto and crypto fundamentals is not something that is my forte. So guys, go and check that out. The first episode will be out in the next couple of days, and I'm very excited. Now, getting back to Apple, like we talked about, overall, Apple trades in very predictable patterns. These bigger types of stocks with massive market caps tend to trade in pretty predictable styles. So like I said, we had these two back-to-back bullish pendants with about 20% breakouts on each of them. Now, one thing I do want you to see is zoomed out on a 3-year chart that each one of these highs that we have had over the past year is getting weaker and weaker. Now, how do we tell that? We can figure out that these higher highs are getting weaker by using our RSI, which stands for Relative Strength Index. If you are a trader, you will know that RSI is basically one of the first things that you learn and is one of the building blocks and kind of major pieces to technical analysis. Some people live by it, some people don't really care, but one of the first things that you should notice is that we are getting a weaker push up. Now, one other thing is the MACD setting up here. You can see that the MACD did cross, which acts as sort of an accelerometer, showing that when the MACD crosses, we tend to get a significant move to either side. When it crosses to the downside, we tend to get downward moves. When it crosses to the upside, we tend to get upward moves. If you look back when the MACD crossed last time on this weekly chart, Apple actually dumped nearly 15% in 3 weeks after that cross. And now, since it has crossed 2 weeks ago, the stock has pushed up 10%. So overall, it does look like Apple could continue to run within the next couple of weeks, even though I do feel like we are in for a significant pullback. We're going to get into the flow in a couple of minutes, which will show, how has buying and selling been. But overall, it does seem like if we can break through $145, then we could see Apple around 150, 155, and 160. Now, we do have earnings coming out on July 27th. Big, tech earnings are that week. Normal earnings schedule starts next week, I believe, with banks. So Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. Banks usually tend to go first, but we do have third quarter earnings season coming up now. I'm sorry, second quarter earnings season coming up now. So this is something that I would watch out for. I do believe Apple is going to have a great quarter. However, will we see a significant move to the upside? I'm not sure. Normally, in my opinion, we're going to have to put massive earnings numbers up. If the stock was trading back down around 125 and they put up record earnings, then I could see the stock pushing 20%. However, with the stock pushing 20% in just 20 days, they would really have to hit it out of the park to see Apple move up to 160, potentially 170, which could definitely happen. But I think the chances of that happening are pretty slim. Even from here up to 155 is the 6% move, but I do believe we could see that depending upon how earnings are going. Now, if we look at the actual flow of Apple over the past couple of weeks, it's been pretty strong. So I'm going to show you today, and then we're going to go over the past couple of weeks. So today was really nothing but calls. There were some puts coming in, but they were all just for basically 7/16s and people trying to scalp the small moves to the downside intraday. This is all of the flow just for today, which you can see basically 90% of this, maybe 95% of this was all calls. You see at the bottom left, Apple was the highest and most active on the calls list, and also pretty low on the puts list. So about $6.93 million worth of puts came in, and on the calls list, we had nearly 31.76 million. Now, the one thing that I do want you to take note of is this insane amount of dark pool move that we had come in after hours. So for those of you who don't know what dark pools are, I do have a video on this channel. Make sure to check it out. But a dark pool is essentially a move that a massive shark puts in play. Now, they have dark pools because if, let's just say, Warren Buffett wanted to get rid of $500 million worth of Apple, if he came out and said today, Wednesday the 7th at 5:01 p.m., I'm going to sell all of my Apple. It's $500 million. What do you think would happen? Right? Pandemonium would happen. Everyone would be like, why is he selling all of his shares? Does he know something we don't know? So what brokers allow big investors, hedge fund managers, investment bankers do is sell it on a dark pool, which essentially is a behind the curtain exchange. It's not illegal. Is it immoral? Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you don't have a scanner to watch for dark pools, you don't really know what's happening. Now, the thing with dark pools is it's not going to tell you if it was a buy or a sell. So something I want you to notice is at 9:54 a.m., we had $20 million worth of dark pools come into Apple. Now, do you think those were buys or sells? Judging by my, calculations, I feel very, very confident that that was a buy at 9:54. That was a big buy that came in. Now, if you look as well, we had $43 million come in at 10:07. What do you think that was? A buy or a sell? Well, I would go ahead again and say I believe that was a buy. Then again, at 4 p.m., so from 4 p.m. to 4:20, we have 35 million, 98 million, 98 million, 15 million, 100 million, 64 million, 16 million, and 24 million. So basically $500 million worth of dark pools hit after hours. Now, what you have to think to yourself and what your job is as a trader is, were they buys or were they sells? Now, looking at the flow throughout the day, tons of calls, a lot of 7/9s, a lot of 7/16s, a lot of, what was the other one? 7/23, 150s. So overall, a lot of short-term flow, nothing really coming in for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So overall, was, these flow, this dark pool flow that came in after hours, was that a buy or a sell? For me, I personally think it's a sell. I don't feel extremely confident about it, but I do want to bring it up to your attention. I believe it was probably a sell. Even though things are looking very strong here, we do have a major resistance here. And let's say that person bought their shares all the way down around that breakout point of $128. Well, they are up 12.84% on $500 million. So overall, this is definitely something to watch. I do believe that we could see Apple continue to rip within the next couple of weeks, but we are at a major resistance. And for me personally, I would be taking profits here. Guys, thank you for all the support. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go and check out the podcast. Go and check out my Twitter. I post a lot of my trades there, as well as any information that I feel is extremely important about investing, whether it's real estate, stock market. And it's the easiest way of staying in contact with me between videos. If you guys want access to every single trade that I take live as soon as I take it, live stream with me and my team every morning for the first hour of market open, get access to our 60-hour course library, as well as our private Discord server, use the link down below and start with us now. Guys, thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.